You think rich people make different decisions than you. Bigger decisions, smarter decisions, complex decisions involving numbers and strategies and information you were never taught how to understand. But most of the time, the difference begins somewhere much smaller than that. A grocery store aisle, a random Tuesday, a purchase so forgettable your brain barely registers it. Because wealth usually does not disappear dramatically. It disappears quietly. $5 here, $20 there. A subscription you stopped using 8 months ago. Food delivery because you were tired. Upgrading something that still worked. Tiny leaks. Tiny conveniences. Tiny emotional rewards. None of them large enough to feel dangerous. That is what makes them dangerous. You do not feel your future leaving when it leaves in small pieces. You only notice years later when someone your age has options you do not have. And the painful part is that from the outside, their life does not even look that different. They still buy coffee. They still travel sometimes. They still waste money occasionally. But underneath their life is a structure, a system, a machine quietly collecting small decisions and converting them into freedom. Most people never build the machine because they are waiting for motivation. Motivation is unreliable. The machine is not. You are 27 years old. You decide to automate 5 a day, not invest when you feel ready, not save what is left at the end of the month because there is never anything left at the end of the month. You automate it first. $5 disappears from your account every morning before your brain can negotiate with it. The first week feels pointless. The second week feels invisible. The third week annoys you slightly because you suddenly notice how often your brain reaches for tiny purchases automatically. That awareness is uncomfortable. Most people stop there, not because they cannot afford $5, because awareness changes your relationship with spending, and changing your relationship with spending feels strangely emotional. You begin noticing that many purchases were never about the thing itself. They were about interruption, relief, reward, escape. You are not buying coffee. You are buying a transition between stress and productivity. You are not ordering food. You are buying exhaustion relief. You are not impulse shopping. You are buying novelty because your brain wants stimulation. And this is the part nobody explains clearly enough. Money problems are often behavior problems wearing financial clothing. You keep the $5 automatic investment running anyway, not because you suddenly became disciplined, because you removed the need to be disciplined every day. That changes everything. People think consistency comes from motivation when it actually comes from reducing negotiation. The moment a decision becomes automatic, your emotions stop getting a vote. And emotions are expensive, especially tired emotions, especially stressed emotions, especially Friday night emotions after a long week where your brain starts whispering things like, "You deserve this. This week was hard. It's only $20. The machine does not care about Friday night emotions. The machine only cares whether the transfer happened. It happens. 30 days pass. You invested roughly $150. The account moves slightly, up a little, down a little, nothing dramatic. Your life remains visually identical. And this is where almost everyone misunderstands wealth building. They expect external transformation before internal transformation. But the internal shift happens first, quietly, almost invisibly. You start hesitating before impulse purchases, not from guilt. From comparison, your brain begins calculating future value automatically, not obsessively, just naturally. A $40 impulse purchase no longer feels like only $40. It feels like future invested money interrupted. That awareness alone changes behavior more effectively than budgeting apps ever could. Because budgets feel restrictive, identity feels permanent. You are slowly becoming someone who thinks long-term by default. That personality shift compounds harder than money does. 3 months in, the account reaches around $500. Not impressive. Still small enough that most people would laugh at it. But here's what the number actually represents. Proof. Proof that you can delay gratification repeatedly without your life collapsing. Proof that your spending impulses are survivable. Proof that small consistency is stronger than occasional intensity. Most people attempt financial transformation through intensity. Extreme budgeting, extreme saving, extreme motivation. It lasts 11 days. Then real life arrives. The machine survives real life because it was designed inside real life. That is why small, automatic investing beats dramatic financial resets almost every time. You are now 1 year in. Roughly 1,825 invested. The account balance fluctuates around $2,100 depending on market conditions. Again, not life-changing, but something strange is happening psychologically. You trust yourself more. That trust matters more than the balance, because financial anxiety often comes from broken self-agreements. You said you would save. You didn't. You said you would stop overspending. You didn't. You said next month would be different. It wasn't. Every broken agreement quietly damages your confidence. Not loudly, quietly, but now every automatic investment becomes evidence that you do what you said you would do. That rebuilds something deeper than savings. It rebuilds self-respect. And this is where it gets interesting. Your environment starts revealing itself differently too. You notice how aggressively modern life tries to separate you from small amounts of money. Every app wants a subscription. Every platform wants convenient spending. Every advertisement wants urgency. Buy now, upgrade now. Limited time, fast delivery. Modern consumer culture survives by making small spending feel emotionally invisible. Your machine survives by making small investing emotionally automatic. Two systems competing for the same dollars. One builds temporary dopamine. The other builds permanent leverage. 2 years pass. Then 3, then 5. The strange thing about long-term investing is that eventually you stop feeling like you're trying to build wealth. You just become someone who does. The same way brushing your teeth stopped feeling like discipline years ago. The transfer happens. The market moves. Life continues. But underneath your normal life, something is growing quietly. And quiet growth is emotionally confusing because modern life trained you to expect visible rewards. Immediately. Likes immediately. Deliveries immediately. Entertainment immediately. Most people have never experienced a process where the reward arrives years after the behavior. That's why investing feels unnatural at first. Not financially unnatural, neurologically unnatural. Your brain keeps asking, why am I sacrificing today for a future I cannot see yet? And slowly over time, the future becomes visible. You are 32 years old now. You have invested for 5 years. You contributed around $9,000. The account sits somewhere near $12,000, depending on market conditions. Still not enough to retire. Still not enough to impress internet finance influencers. But enough to create something dangerously important. Options. Options change human behavior immediately. The person with savings negotiates differently. Walks differently. Thinks differently. Because desperation creates tolerance for things your future self would never accept. Bad jobs, manipulative relationships, financial panic, exploitative environments. Money does not solve every emotional problem. But lack of money amplifies almost all of them. And this is the hidden reason investing matters. Not because your portfolio number becomes impressive, because fear becomes quieter. You notice this subtly at first. A car repair happens and your nervous system doesn't completely collapse. An unexpected expense appears and it feels inconvenient instead of catastrophic. Your boss has a bad day and you no longer feel immediate terror about losing your paycheck. That emotional stability came from years of small repetitive behavior. Not luck, not genius, not a massive income increase. Tiny, consistent investing slowly reduced the volume of fear in your life. Most people think wealth creates confidence. Usually the process happens in reverse. Consistency creates confidence first. Then confidence builds wealth. You are 37 years old, 10 years into the machine. Your automatic investments continued through vacations, stressful years, birthdays, breakups, promotions, illnesses, holidays, boring months, chaotic months, and periods where you genuinely forgot the account existed because the habit became fully integrated into your life. That is when the real acceleration begins, because the market is now contributing meaningful amounts on its own. Some months your investments grow more than your actual contributions. The first time this happens feels surreal. You made money while doing absolutely nothing productive that day. No overtime, no extra shift, no side hustle, no exhausting productivity tricks. Your assets worked while you lived your life. And this is the emotional moment where investing permanently changes in your brain. You stop seeing investing as deprivation. You start seeing it as ownership. Ownership of future time. Ownership of flexibility. Ownership of choices most people postpone for decades. Now here's the dangerous part. Lifestyle inflation notices your progress too. You start earning more money. Your social circle upgrades things. Nicer apartments, newer cars, better restaurants. Luxury disguised as normal adulthood. And because your income increased, every upgrade suddenly feels reasonable. That word destroys more wealth quietly than almost anything else. Reasonable car payment, reasonable upgrade, reasonable vacation financing, reasonable subscription stack. People rarely destroy their future with one catastrophic decision. They slowly suffocate it with reasonable ones. But you built the machine early, which means every new expense now competes against your future automatically in your mind, not emotionally, mathematically, and once your brain learns to think that way consistently, it becomes very difficult to return to unconscious spending. You are no longer just consuming money, you are allocating it. That difference looks small from the outside. Inside, it changes your entire life.